Prologue of the Birds by Aristophanes, translated by Benjamin Hall Kennedy. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Dramatis Personae.
Euelpides, read by Chris Pyle.
Peithetaerus, read by Ariphron.
Hoopoe, read by Alan Mapstone.
Herald, read by Rick Cordray.
A priest, read by Inkell.
A poet, read by redrun.
Soothsayer, read by Read&Listen.
Meton, a geometrician, read by Availle.
An inspector, read by Elsie Selwyn.
A plebiscite vendor, read by Beeswax Candle.
Iris, read by Availle.
A would-be parasite, read by Andrea Atwood.
Kinesius, read by Alan Mapstone.
Informer, read by Caveat.
Prometheus, read by Greg Giordano.
Poseidon, read by Ethan Hurst.
Chibalion, read by Inkell.
Heracles, read by Read&Listen.
First Messenger, read by Deanna Lee.
Second Messenger, read by David Purdy.
Third Messenger, read by Sonia.
Runner Bird, read by David Purdy.
Chorus of Birds, read by Todd.
Stage Directions, read by Kristen Hand. Prologue. Scene: a wild tract with bush and rock, a tree in the distance. Enter Peithetaerus and Euelpides with slaves. Euelpides to the J.
Straight where the tree stands out. Is that the track?
Plague take you. Mine again is croaking back.
Still up and down, old sinner. Must we pace? 'Twill kill us both, this vain way-weaving race.
That I, poor wretch, believing in a crow, more than 1,000 furlongs round should go.
That I, bad luck, believing in a jay, should knock my wretched toenails all away.
'Tis past my knowledge where on earth we stand.
Could you from hence find out the fatherland?
That not e'en Execustides could do.
Woe, woe!
That road, my friend, I leave to you.
A scurvy trick he's played on us, he of the bird mart. Philocrates the poulterer, in his craze. He said this pair would find out for us Tereus, the Hoopoe him, that once upon a time into a bird was turned from out the birds. And so he sold this brat of Euelpides, this jay for 2 pence and yon crow for 6 pence. But all the creatures knew was how to peck.
To the J.
Now what do you gape at? Somewhere down the rocks do you propose to push us? Here's no road.
Nor here, I vow, no vestige of a path.
Your crow says something, doesn't she, of the way?
Her croak is different from before, by Jove.
But pray, what says she of the road?
I'll maul and gnaw your fingers off, she says, that's all.
Now isn't it monstrous hard that when we want to go to the ravens, and are quite prepared, yet after all we can't find out the way? No, gentles, ye that come to hear our plot, we're stricken with a certain malady, the opposite of that which Cacus has. He, no true citizen, is struggling in, while we, full franchised both in tribe and clan, citizens in the midst of citizens, with none to scare us from our fatherland, flew out as fast as both our feet could waft us, not moved by hatred of that city's self, that 'tis not in its nature great and happy and free to all alike, to pay their fines in. No, faith. Cicalas for a month or two are chirping on the shoots. Athenians ever are chirping on the suits their lifetime through. Such are the reasons why we gang this gate, with sacred corbel, pot, and myrtle sprays, we wander, seeking for a suitless spot, where we may settle down and spend our lives. In short, we're bound to Tereus' court, the Hoopoe. From him we wish to learn if such a city he e'er descried in any of his flights.
Hello, sir.
Well, what now?
The crow sometime makes upward signs to me.
Aye, and this jay stares upward open-mouthed, as shewing me something. There must be birds, no question, hereabouts. But if we make a noise, we soon shall know.
I'll tell you what to do. Just give the rock a shin stroke.
By all means, and you a head stroke. A double knock will make a double noise.
Well, take a stone and strike.
I'll do your bidding. Boy, boy.
What's that? You call the hoopoe boy? Ought you not rather to cry hoopoe?
Hoopoe. Whooping once, it seems, won't do. Hoopoe.
Enter runner bird from the bush.
Who are these? Who calls my lord?
Apollo guard us, what a monstrous yawn.
Me miserable. They're a brace of fowlers.
So foul a thing is scarce polite to utter.
You'll be put to death.
But we're not men.
What are you?
Funkling eye, a Libyan bird.
All fudge.
You'll find abundant evidence.
Well, and what bird's this other? Won't you speak?
Skunkling am I, one of the telltale tits.
But prithee say, what animal are you?
I am a slave bird.
Did some cock defeat you?
Not so. But when my lord became a hoopoe, he prayed that I too might become a bird. So should he have a pursuivant and page.
One bird then needs another for a page.
My master does, by reason, I suppose, that he was formerly a man, and so, when he would lunch upon Valerian whitebait, I run to fetch him whitebait, dish in hand. Soup if he craves, ladle and spoon are wanted, I run for a ladle.
'Tis the runner bird. I'll tell you, runner, what to do. Go call your master for us.
Nay, but he's just gone to take a nap after a hearty meal of myrtle berries with a gnat or two.
Well, wake him all the same.
I'm very sure he'll be displeased, but for your sakes I'll wake him.
Exit runner bird.
Go and be hanged for frightening me to death.
Woe's me, unlucky wight. My jay too's gone in terror.
Oh, you biggest of big cowards, your fright it was allowed the jay to go.
Pray you didn't tumble down and loose the crow.
Not I, by Jove.
Where is she?
Flown away.
Oh, you didn't loose her, bravest of the brave.
The hoopoe speaks from the bush.
Open the greenwood, that I may come forth.
Enter Hoopoe.
Great Heracles, what animal is here? What plumage this? What triple-crested fashion?
Who are they that come to seek me?
The 12 gods seem to have smashed you.
Strangers, do you flout me because you see this plumage? I was once a man.
We do not laugh at you.
What then?
That beak of yours looks to us laughable.
Of course such insults in his tragedies does Sophocles inflict on me, the Tereus.
You're Tereus, are you? Bird or peacock, which?
A bird am I.
Where are your feathers, then?
They've fallen off.
Was that from some disease?
No. In the winter all birds moult their feathers, and then again we fledge another set. But tell me what you twain are.
Mortals we.
Your native country?
Whence the Gallic triremes.
Helias, are you?
No, the other sort. Heliast haters.
Is that seed sown there?
A sprinkling you may gather off the field.
But pray, what object come you here in quest of?
An interview with you.
Upon what business?
Seeing that first, you once were man, like us. Once money owed to creditors, like us. Once gladly shirked repaying it, like us. Next changing to the nature of the birds, you flew about o'er land and sea, and all the feelings both of man and bird are yours. Therefore we're hither come as suppliants to you, to see if you can shew us some snug city, soft as a blanket to lie down and snooze in.
A greater city seek you than the Crenan?
Not greater, no, but nicer for ourselves.
You seek an aristocracy, that's clear.
Not I. And Scellius's youngster makes me sick.
What kind of city would you choose to dwell in?
One where the greatest troubles should be these. Some friend should seek my door at morning tide and say, "By Zeus Olympius, I beseech you and your children, take an early bath and visit me. I give a wedding breakfast. Don't think of saying no, or if you do, never approach me when my fortunes ebb."
Good sooth, sad troubles you're enamoured of. And you?
My longing is the same.
For what?
One where a friend should meet me in the street, the father of a marriageable daughter, and rate me soundly thus as having wronged him. "Stilbonides, you never come to see my little girl. I'll whisper in your ear she'll have 5 talents for her marriage portion, and you're my old hereditary friend."
Poor fellow, what afflictions you're in love with. Well, there's a city such as you describe, favoured of fortune, on the Red Sea coast.
Name it not. No seaside place for us, where sudden some fine morning will pop up, carrying a summoner, the Salaminia. But can you tell us some Hellenic city?
Why don't you go to Leprius of Elis, and there reside?
Because, so witness heaven, although I never saw it, from Melanthius, the very name of Leprius turns my stomach.
In Locris there's another breed, Opuntrians, where you should settle.
To become Opuntius, no, not a talent's weight of gold would tempt me. But what's the style of living with the birds? You know it well, no doubt.
Not disagreeable, for daily wear and tear. To take an instance, you have to live without a purse.
Good riddance of one of life's most palpable corruptions.
We feed in gardens on white sesame grains, on myrtle berries, poppy seeds, and water mint.
Then 'tis a life of bridegrooms that you lead.
Huzzah! Huzzah! I spy a great design, I really do, within the scope of birds to frame, and power to work it out, if you will only take my counsel.
Take what counsel?
What? Why, first, cease flying all about with open bills. Such conduct's not respectable. For instance, in our world there inquire about the flutterers, "Who's yonder fellow?" Tullius will reply, "Oh, that's a birdman flying without ballast, all aimless, never staying in one spot."
Right well you ridicule such ways by Bacchus. What must we do then?
Found a single city.
What sort of city could we found, we birds?
So? You speaker of the silliest speech, look down.
I'm looking.
Now look up.
I do.
Now turn your neck about.
A pretty gain 'twill be, forsooth, if I'm to wring my neck.
Did you see something?
Yes, the clouds and sky.
These constitute, I think, the sight of birds.
Sight? How do you mean?
Another term for seat. There's such a sight of things within their range that now they're naturally called a sight. But settled once and fortified by you, instead of sight they shall be termed a city. So will ye rule o'er men as over locusts, and wear the gods to death with Melian famine.
How so?
The air's midway, methinks, from earth. And just as if we want to visit Delphi, we ask Boeotians for a passage through, even so whene'er men sacrifice to gods, unless the gods agree to pay you tribute, you'll not let savoury meat steams pass your way.
Bravo, bravo! By earth, by snares, by gins, by nets, I never, no never did I hear a prettier notion. So with your help the city I will found, consent being given by the other birds.
Who will expound the matter to them?
You shall, for though they were a barbarous race before, I taught them language living with them long.
How then can you convoke them?
Easily. I'll enter here at once into the bush, and after I've aroused my nightingale, we'll call them. If they do but hear our voice, they'll run full speed.
Then stay not, dearest bird, but I beseech you, go into the bush this instant and arouse the nightingale.
The hoopoe enters the bush and chants.
Cease, my mate, from slumber now, let the sacred hymn notes flow, wailing with thy voice divine, long wept Itis mine and thine. So when thy brown beak is thrilling, with that holy music trilling, through the woodbine's leafy bound, swells the pure melodious sound to the throne of Zeus, and there Phoebus of the golden hair, hearing to thine elegies, with the awakened chords replies of his ivory clasped lyre, stirring all the Olympian choir. Till from each immortal tongue of that blessed heavenly throng peals the full harmonious song.
Music is played, imitating the notes of the nightingale.
O royal Zeus, that bird's voice, what a flood of honey did it stream o'er all the wood!
Hullo, sir.
Well, what now?
Be silent.
Why?
The hoopoe frames another melody.
Boy, hola, hola, what ho, what ho! Hither haste, my plume partakers, come any, that pasture on the farmer's well-sown acres. Tribes countless on that barley feed, and clans that gather out the seed. Come alert upon the wing, dulcet music uttering, ye that o'er the furrowed sod twitter up on every clod, making all the air rejoice with your soft and slender voice. Tio, 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 ye that feast on garden fruits, nestling mid the ivy shoots, ye that all the mountains throng, olive croppers, arbute loppers, haste and fly to greet my song. Trioto, trioto, toto bricks, ye that o'er the marshy flats swallow down the shrill-mouthed gnats, ye that haunt the deep-dewed ground, Marathon's sweetmeads surround, Ouzel and thou of the speckled wing, hazel hen, speed while I sing. Come many, come any, with the halcyon brood that sweep surges of the watery deep. Come and list to novel words, which to hear from far and near, we gather all the tribes of neck-extending birds. Here is arrived a sharp old man, of revolutionary mind, to revolutionary deeds inclined. Come all and listen to his plan, hither, 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 hither. Toro, 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 ticks, keek-a-bow, keek-a-bow. Toro, 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 lily-licks.
See you some bird?
By Apollo, no, not I. Yet all agape I'm gazing on the sky.
So then the hoopoe went into the wood and mocked the curlew, screaming for no good.
End of prologue. Episode 1 of The Birds by Aristophanes. Translated by Benjamin Hall Kennedy. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Episode 1, Bird Entering.
Toro ticks, Toro ticks.
Nay, my friend, this very moment here is a bird approaching close.
Ay, by Jove! What bird, I wonder? 'Tis a peacock, I suppose.
Our obliging friend will tell us. What's this bird, sir? Kindly say.
'Tis not one of those accustomed sorts you're seeing every day, but a lake bird.
Oh, the beauty! What a brilliant tint of flame!
and a very proper colour, for flamingo is its name.
Hola, you, sir.
What do you bawl at?
Here's another coming now.
Yes, another bird, and holding an uncommon sight, I vow. Pray, sir, what is that absurd, delicate treading muse-seer bird?
Medus is its native title.
Medus? Heracles the king? Flying in without a camel? Could a Mede do such a thing?
Here's another bird that's taken to himself a crest again.
Hey, what's this by way of marvel? Are not you sole Hoopoe, then? Have you got a double, please?
This is son of Philocles, son of Hoopoe, I'm its grandsire. Like your own our titles run, Callias, son of Hipponicus, Hipponicus, Callias' son.
Callias, then, this bird you call. See how fast his feathers fall.
Yes, because he is a lordling, parasites his plumage clip. And the lady birds, moreover, all the little remnants strip.
Oh, Poseidon, here's another party-colored bird in sight. What's the title we're to give him?
Call him Gobbler, and you're right.
Gobbler, is there any known, save Cleonymus alone?
If Cleonymus we call him, ought he not his crest to lose?
Well, but whence arose this fashion of the birds, a crest to use? Were they to the double heat race?
No, good sir, they build their nests with a view to preservation, like the carrions up on crests.
O Poseidon, what a plaguy lot of birds are gathered here. Don't you see?
O King Apollo, what a cloud! Oh dear, for they're flying now, no more can we see the entrance door.
Hither is a partridge coming, there a hazel hen is shown. Up on this side is a widgeon, up on that a halcyon.
What's the one we see behind her?
That one Razorbill's the name.
Razorbill's a bird, then?
Call it Sporgilius, 'twill be the same.
Here's an owl.
What's this you tell me? Who to Athens brought an owl?
Pie and turtle, lark and pigeon, goat-sucker and guinea fowl, hawk and falcon, cushat cuckoo, redshank redpoll come in view. Gannet, kestrel, diver, osprey, flycatcher, and woodchat too.
Merrily, merrily come the birds, merrily come the blackbirds all. What a twittering, what a fluttering, what variety of squall! Don't they threaten us? I fear so, sure with yawning beaks they blink, and on you and me are staring.
You are right, I really think.
Wee, where is he summoned me? In what region feedeth he?
Here I am long time expecting, from my friends I never flee.
Tay, tell me, pray, what today friendly word have you to say?
One that's safe and just and pleasant, and of public use you'll find. Here are two men come to see me, schemers both, of subtle mind.
Where? Which way? What do you say?
2 old men are come, I answer, hither from the Isle of Man, and they bring a business with them, solid, of enormous span.
Oh, you worst of all offenders, since I first began to feed, what do you tell me?
Don't be frightened.
What is this unfriendly deed?
I've received 2 men enamoured of a social league with you.
So you've really gone and done it?
I am very gladly too.
And are they now somewhere near us?
Yes, if I am near to you.
Alas, alas, betrayed are we, treated with impiety. He who was our friend who feeds near us in our common meads, all our ancient rules forsaking, all the oaths of birds is breaking, lures me to a treacherous place, sells me to an impious race, which was ever unto me bred in mortal enmity since it first began to be. But we shall proceed to reckon with the bird another day. For these 2 old men, I'd have them now the penal forfeit pay, and be torn in pieces by us.
There, all's up with us, you see.
Yes, and you alone must answer for our dire calamity. For what purposes did you lead me thence?
That you might follow me.
Nay, that I might cry my eyes out.
Pack of nonsense that about crying. How are you to do it when your eyes are once torn out?
Ho, forward, march! Advance the deadly warlike charge! Throw out both wings, and to outflank our front enlarge. Since the twain must weep and cry, and pasture to the beak supply, for nor shady mountain lair, nor the cloud that sails the air, nor any depth of hoary sea, may shelter them escaped from me. So let us delay no longer both our foes to tear and bite. Where's the general of division? Let him straight lead on our right.
'Tis the crisis. Whither wretched can I fly?
What, won't you stay?
To be torn in pieces by them?
Can you then invent a way to escape?
I know none.
Then I'll tell you how to manage it. We must make a standing fight and take some pots from out our kit.
And what good's a pot to do us?
This the owl will not molest.
But for those crook-taloned wretches.
Grasp the spit and let it rest in your front full firmly planted.
For the eyes what must be done?
Take a saucer or a platter out and tie it tightly on.
Oh, you cleverest of commanders, all your plan is well designed. In the art of engineering you've left Nicias far behind.
Elau, quick, march, present the beak, no moment for delay, haul 'em, tear 'em, spite 'em, flay 'em, striking first the pot away.
Vilest of the brute creation, tell me, would you slay and skin 2 men who have never harmed you, of my lady's tribe and kin?
Spare 'em, spare the wolves then. Can we punish a more hostile kind?
Hostile if they are by nature, yet they bear a friendly mind. And the thing they've come to teach us, we may to our profit find.
Can it be then to our profit any tale by these men told, any lesson of their teaching, foemen to my sires of old?
Much instruction do the wise gather from their enemies, good precautions, sure salvation, this from friends you never learn. But your foeman puts the screw on, and 'tis taught you to a turn. Foes, not friends, instructed nations, fortresses and fleets to make, and this lesson saves their children, homes and all they have at stake.
Well, indeed, in my opinion, giving audience to their speech may be useful to begin with, something wise a foe may teach.
Now their wrath they seem to slacken, so retire a step or two.
What you said is common justice, and your thanks to me are due.
Ne'er on any other question have we been opposed to you.
They're more peaceful than before, so the pot and dishes lower. For the spear, I mean the spit, we must still be holding it, as we pace the encampment, peeping o'er the kettle's rim, and keeping good look out, we must not fly.
In what soil then, if we die, tell me, shall we buried lie?
Burial place for you and me shall the Keramachus be. Public funeral to secure, we shall the war office tell, fighting with the foe we fell in the battle of Birdpoor.
Next again your steps retrace, wheel into your former place, stooping there in hoplite fashion, ground your temper next your passion, that by inquiry we may find whence come this pair, and with what mind. Sir Hoopoe, you I call, what ho?
What does your calling seek to know?
Who are these? Whence come they? Tell us.
Strangers they from clever Hellas.
To the birds, what fortune brings 'em?
Love of birds and bird life stings 'em. Dwellers with you they would be, ever of your company.
What's this story that you tell? What proposals do they make?
Incredible, incredible, far too large for ears to take.
Sees he then a chance of gaining any good by here remaining? Does he certainly confide, dwelling ever at my side, to overthrow any foe, any friend to defend?
He predicts for you and me some immense felicity. not by language to be taught, not to be conceived in thought. He will prove by reasons strong, all these things to you belong. All that's here and all that's hither, all that's there and all that's thither.
What, is he a brain-sick fool?
Monstrous sensible and cool.
Has he learnt a trick or two?
Cutest fox I ever knew. Plans and precedents to shower, smooth as butter, fine as flour.
His proposals unto me bid him utter. Listening to the tale, you see, sets me all a-flutter.
Now you and you this panoply take back, and hang it up, in prospect of good luck, within the kitchen by the plate rack's side. And you, sir, make the statements which to hear I'd summoned these expound.
Not I, by Apollo, unless they make the covenant with me, which with his wife that ape the sword right made, that they won't bite or worry me, in short, won't scratch my eyes out.
Good, I covenant.
Then swear it.
Well, I swear, if I am faithful, then by the votes of all the judges here, and all the spectators, the first prize be mine.
Accepted.
But if I transgress the oath, then by one judge's casting vote I win.
Oh yes, let every hoplite now take up his armour and go home again, and note our proclamations on the signboards.
At every time, on every side, man's crafty nature is descried. Yet freely speak your mind, for haply you may find some useful character in me, some mightier faculty, to which my witless thoughts ne'er travelled, by your acuter sense unravelled. Such vantage ground if you have found, unto the public ear the case expound. Since all of good you gain for me, our common property shall be, so whatever be the thing you with full conviction bring, let it now be boldly spoken, for our truce will not be broken.
My mind, be sure, is eagerly at work, e'en now indeed, when ready leavened argument the time is come to need. Ho, boy, a crown, and here, some slave, bring water quick, my hands to lave.
Is there a dinner in the wind, or what are we to have?
No, but I've long desired to speak a big well-fattened word, by which the nation here may feel its spirit deeply stirred. So sorrowful am I for you, who anciently were kings.
We kings? Of what?
Indeed you were, of all existing things. Of me, my friend here, Jove himself. Ere Cronus was, ye were, before the Titan brood and earth.
And earth?
'Tis true, I swear.
I never heard, so help me Jove, a word of this before.
You're such a dull, incurious lot, unread in Aesop's lore, whose story says the lark was born first of the feathered choir, before the earth. Then came a cold and carried off his sire. Earth was not, 5 days lay the old bird untombed. At last the sun buried the father in his head, since other grave was none.
The father of the lark lies dead, I understand, at Berryhead.
If then before the gods they were, and earlier than the earth, is not the kingdom theirs of right by eldership of birth?
True, by Apollo. So resolve henceforth, a beak to rear. The sceptre soon will Jove restore unto the woodpecker.
There's ample proof that birds, not gods, of yore were lords of men, and kings. First I'll produce the cock, who ruled the Persians then, ere aught was of Darius or of Megabazus heard, and still from that archaic rule he's called the Persian bird.
Like the great king he therefore struts, and on his head full dressed, alone of all the birds he wears erect the turban crest.
So strong was he, so mighty then, so big, that to this hour, when he his matin alto sings in memory of that power, smiths, potters, tanners, cordwainers, tradesfolk of every guild, corn factors, bathing men, and such as frame the lyre and shield, spring up to work. Some get them dressed ere night is o'er to start.
Ask me to give that evidence. I know it to my smart. I lost a cloak of Phrygian wool all through that bird, I did. For to a baby's naming feast being in the city bid, I drank a rouse and dozed a while, then crew this cock ere yet the rest had supped. I surely thought 'twas morn, and off I set to Hallowmas. But scarce I'd poked my nose beyond the wall, a footpad's bludgeon smote my back. I fell and tried to bawl, but ere I could so much as moan, my cloak was slipped, my robber flown.
I and a kite was ruling then the Hellenes and was king.
The Hellenist?
Yes, and in his reign it first became the thing to drop a reverence to the kites.
By Bacchus 'twas my fate, spying a kite to make my bow. Then tossing back my pate, down the red lane my money went, and I was forced to drag back to my home, all supperless and sad, an empty bag.
In Egypt and Phoenicia too a cuckoo filled the throne, and when the cuckoo cried cuckoo, Phoenicians every one, the wheat and barley in the fields would reap with might and main.
I truly thence the saw, cuckoo, ye cripples, to the plain.
So mighty was their sway that if in some Hellenic town a king, as Agamemnon or his brother, wore the crown, a bird upon their scepters sat, the many bribes to share.
Well, this I never heard before, so I could only stare, when in the tragedies came forth some Priam, bird in hand, that stood near base Lysacrates, and all his bribery scanned.
What strikes me most, the present Zeus a bird, an eagle, wears upon his statue's head as king, an owl his daughter bears. Apollo has a little hawk, as a mere serving man.
Right, by Demeter, and now what's the reason of the plan?
That when a sacrificer puts, according to our use, the entrails in the hand, these birds may take them before Zeus. No man would then swear by God, but all men by the birds, and Lampon still adjures the goose to back his cheating words. Once, you see, you were high in place, once a great and holy race, holy and great by all men deemed, now as the merest jacks esteemed. If in their temples you now alight, they pelt you like any bedlamite, and the cunning fowlers for you set snare and springe, twig, trap, gin, cage, and net. Then they catch and sell you by the score, and the buyers feel and pinch you sore, till at last, when comes the sad decree, they don't even roast you decently, but the grated cheese they first prepare, adding silphium, oil, and vinegar, and they rub in these with cruel care. Then a sauce they heat that's rich and sweet, and drench you with it like dry dog's meat.
By far, O man, alas, by far, these tales of all most cruel are, which to mine ears you bring, and from me tears you wring. For those my coward sires who could thus, in my babyhood, abandon mighty privileges, set down from old ancestral ages, but as you're come by heaven's decree, and happy chance a saviour unto me, my nestlings and myself I give in your protectorate to live. Forthwith then teach us what to do, since life's not worth the name, unless by fair means or by foul our kingdom we reclaim.
First then I teach that of the birds one city you shall found, and next that all this atmosphere that circles you around, and all the ways that intervene the earth and sky between, with huge baked bricks like Babylon be walled about by you.
O Gog and Magog, what a town! How terrible to view!
When this has gained its perfect height, reclaim from Zeus the sway, and if he won't knock under straight, but still returns a nay, announce to him a sacred war, and notify the gods they must not pass as heretofore through your august abodes, according of their similes, Alcmenas, and the rest. Such contraband amours shall now most strictly be suppressed. To men you'll also send a bird as herald with these words: Henceforth, as birds are reigning, you must sacrifice to birds, and to the gods in second rank, whereto must be assigned, for every god a proper bird, the fittest you can find. Aphrodite's sacrifice, crumpets for the coot implies. If a sheep Poseidon gain, wheat corn let the duck obtain. Comes for Heracles a treat, honey cakes the gull must eat. If King Zeus a ram delight, we've our kingbird, who, by right, Zeus himself preceding, can claim a slaughtered gnat from man.
Slaughtered gnat, charming that. Let him thunder now, great Zan.
But how shall we to human gaze appear as gods instead of jays, flying about and wearing wings?
All nonsense. Hermes flies, god as he is, and wings are worn by countless deities. Lo, victory soars on golden wings, and Eros too, by Jove, and Hera likewise, Homer says, went like a trembling dove. And when it thunders, does not Zeus the winged lightning on us loose?
But if mere ciphers we shall seem to unenlightened men, Olympians only count as gods?
A cloud of sparrows then, and grain devourers off the land shall all their seed corn eat. Then let Demeter, when they starve, dole out to them her wheat.
She never will, so help me Zeus. You'll see her making some excuse.
Again the ravens may tear out, if thus it must be tried, the eyes of all their ploughing kine and all their sheep beside. Then let Apollo heal, if he's as rich in science as in fees.
Pray till I've sold my little team of bullocks twain. Don't try the scheme.
But if they deem you God, you life, you earth, you Cronus, you Poseidon, they shall have all goods.
Just mention one or two.
First, locusts shall not feed upon their vine shoots, but this pest shall by a single troop of owls and falcons be suppressed. Next, on their figs at no time shall the nits and maggots prey. One flight of thrushes shall pick out and clear them all away.
But wealth which men so dearly love, whence are we to bestow?
When they consult, these birds to them the paying minds will show, and all the profitable marts they'll mention to the seer, so that no captain will be lost.
None lost? Let that appear.
When about sailing men consult, some bird will still explain, don't sail at present, there'll be a storm. Sail now, 'tis certain gain.
A bark I buy, command a crew. I won't stay dawdling here with you.
They'll show them too the hidden coins which men of old laid down. They know them all, a saying 'tis familiar to the town. My treasure, where it lies interred, none knows unless it be some bird.
I sell my bark, a spade I buy, and grubbing up the gutters try.
But how are we to give them health, which with the gods doth dwell?
Good fortune, is not that good health?
Yes, all the world can tell. When a man's doing very ill, he can't be very well.
But how shall they attain old age, a pure Olympian privilege? Must they decrease in childhood?
No, by Jove, dismiss your fears. They'll get a bonus from the birds of full 300 years.
Who'll give them to the birds?
Who give? Themselves. Why, don't you know? 5 generations of mankind exists the chattering crow.
Hurrah, hurrah, better by far than Zeus for us these bird kings are.
True indeed, for there'll be no need temples of stone for these to rear. Golden doors will be useless gear. Under the holms and holly trees they'll be hopping and dwelling at ease. Place for the statelier birds we'll find in the boughs of an olive shrined. Unto Delphi or Ammon's fane carrying victims will be vain. If in arbute and olive shade plates of barley and wheat be laid, stretching our hands we'll ask in prayer of their blessings an ample share. All we seek we are sure to gain, just for tossing a little grain.
Old man, of late my bitterest foe, but now my dearest friend, your guidance will I nevermore forsake unto the end. Elated by your words I swear, and threateningly declare, if you will covenant on your part, with just sincere religious heart, to march against the gods with me, allied in perfect harmony, not very long the powers divine shall grasp the sceptre that is mine. All the work where strength is needed be to us assigned, while to you shall be committed all requiring mind.
Now let me tell you, there's no further time to nod and shilly-shally Nikias like, but something must be done forthwith. First enter and view my nest, my straws and stock of firewood, and let us know your names.
An easy matter. My name is Peithetaerus, and my friends Euelpides of Creo.
Welcome both.
We thank you.
Enter in then.
Certainly. Pray take and introduce us.
Forward then.
Yet something strikes me. Just come back a while. Let's see. Please tell us, how will he and I, non-flyers, live on terms with you that fly?
Quite well.
Nay, pause a while. In Aesop's fables there is an ancient story of the fox, how bad a lodger once it found the eagle.
Pluck up your spirits. There's a certain root which, when you've eaten, you'll at once have wings.
Then let us enter in. Ho, Xanthias and Manodorus, take the baggage up.
Sir, with you a word or two?
What?
Let these men lunch with you bravely, but the musical, most melodious nightingale summon forth, and let her stay here a while with us to play.
Pray, sir, refuse not. Speak a friendly word, and from the rush brake fetch the little bird.
Yes, bring her hither. Let our suit prevail, that we too may behold the nightingale.
If both desire, I must out procnate and be presented to the strangers here.
The nightingale enters from the bush.
Wide-honoured Zeus, a charming birdie this, so beautiful, so fair, so tender 'tis, and wearing heaps of gold like some young miss.
I want to kiss her.
That's a maddish freak. She's got a pair of scissors for a beak.
From her noddle I shall peel the shell, as from an egg, and kiss her very well.
Come, let's be moving.
Lead the way, my friend, and may good fortune still our steps attend.
Exeunt Hoopoe, Peithetaerus, Euelpides, and slaves. End of episode 1. Episode 2 of The Birds by Aristophanes. Translated by Benjamin Hall Kennedy. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Episode 2. The chorus chant or intone the first parabasis. Comation.
Oh, my Oni, oh, my brownie, bird of birds the dearest, voice that mingling with my lays ever was the clearest, playmate of my early days, still to me the nearest. Nightingale, thus again do I meet thee, do I greet thee, bringing to me thy sweet strain. Skilfullest of artists thou, to soft trillings of the flute, vernal melodies to suit. Our homily demands thy prelude now.
The nightingale plays a flute symphony. Parabasis proper.
Ho, ye men dim-lived by nature, closest to the leaves in feature, feeble beings clay create, shadowy tribes inanimate, wingless mortals in a day, doleful, dreamlike, swept away. Note the lessons that we give, we the immortals formed to live, we the ethereal, the unaged, with undying plans engaged, that, when ye have heard aright all our lore of highest flight, birds and what their true creation, gods and what their generation, all the rivers running through, Erebus and Chaos too, ye may cry, well trained by us, what care we for Prodicus? Chaos was, and night of yore, in the time all times before, and black Erebus beside, Tartarus extending wide, earth ere heaven were yet unknown, in huge Erebus alone. First our oldest legend says, black-winged night a wind-egg lays, which, as circling seasons move, brings to birth the charmer Love,
bright with golden wings behind, semblant to the whirling wind. In the vast Tartarian shade, him the dull dark chaos made. Sire of us, we nestled there, till we saw the light of air. Race immortal there was none, till love's sorcery was begun. But when all things mixed in motion, rose the sky, the earth, the ocean, and the blessed gods were made, everlasting, undecayed. Thus of all the blessed we far the oldest claim to be, and that we are sons of love many facts agree to prove. Still we fly our daily round, still with lovers we are found. Cruel hearts will oft relent if a pretty bird is sent, and a quail or goose or dove wins the victory for love. Of the goods with which they're blessed, mortals get from birds the best. First of seasons, winter, spring, summer we the tokens bring. Men must sow when shrieks the crane, seeking Libya's coast again. That's the time, each captain knows, to hang up the helm and doze. Then Orestes must not lack cloak well woven for his back, lest with cold the robber freeze, and another garment seize. Next the kite appears, and brings a new season on his wings. When the flock you must release from its vernal load of fleece, then the swallow comes to tell time to come the cloak to sell. And for where while days are hot, by the slender Paletot, we our Ammon shrine to you, Delphi and Dodona too. Phoebus' self to birds you turn, first whatever you should learn, how to choose a mart, a trade, or a marriageable maid. The decisive omens all, known in seercraft, birds you call. Bird an oracle of fate, bird a sneeze you designate, sign that's seen or voice that's heard, lackey, donkey, 'tis a bird. We're Apollo then, 'tis clear, we're your only Pythian seer. So then, if for gods you take us, and your trusted muse-seers make us, gentle breezes we will send you, pleasant seasons shall attend you, moderate heat when summer's nearest, moderate cold when winter's drearest. We'll not sulk and sit beclouded, high in Jove-like grandeur shrouded, but in lower ether gliding, near your mansion still abiding. We will give to all your nations, through their latest generations, life that's healthy, peace that's wealthy, youth enhancing, feast and dancing, and with laughter, bird's milk after. All shall say 'tis really cloying, such the bliss you'll be enjoying.
Ode.
Muse of the woodland glade, Tio, 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 tix. Harmonist, whom tending oft, in glens or on mountain tops aloft, Tio, 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 tix. Perched in an ash tree's leafy shade, Tio, 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 tix. Through my brown bill to Pan I raise melodious strains of holy praise, and to the mountain mother solemn choral lays, to 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 tix. Whence, belike, Phrynichus his soul did fill with fruit of melodies ambrosial still, carolling lyrics at his own sweet will.
Epirema.
Sirs, if any of your throng to the bird club will belong, we can offer him a home full of bliss for years to come. What your laws entitle base, what you visit with disgrace, we the birds commend and deem worthy of our high esteem. Here by law 'tis very bad if a youngster beats his dad. Here with us 'tis usual rather, even grand to cuff a father, strutting up and crying, Sir, if you'll fight me, lift your spur. Any of you that has been branded for a runaway, as a speckled franklin may with us securely stay. Any half-caste spinthoress from the land of bamboos, blackbird be called by us, cousin of our Samboos. If like Exequestides some Valcaran slave comes out, pappies he can fledge with ease there, and wardsmen soon will sprout. To the outlaws would some day Pius' son the gates betray? He, true nestling of his sire, partridge rank can there acquire. Sneaking out we reckon fair, partridge fashion, from the snare.
Antode.
So swans in olden tide, tio, 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 ticks, did their trilling pinions poise, and chant Apollo with commingling noise, tio, 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 ticks, perched on a knoll by Hebrus' side, tio, 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 ticks, came through the airy cloud a cry. The dappled wild beast crouching lie, and sinks the billowy sea beneath the windless sky. To, 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 ticks. Olympus echoed to his utmost bound, amazement seized the kings and far around, each grace and muse Olympian swelled the sound. Tio, 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 ticks.
Antiparema.
Of all joys and blessings none beats the having feathers on. One of you spectators may, wearing wings at any play, get at last a peckish feel, and desire a quiet meal. Home he'll fly, just take a snack, then, with belly full, fly back. Any other small affair, wanting only speed and care, flying helps you to get through, quietly and quickly too. Flying off with full success crowns a lover's happiness. If he spies his rival here, in the senatorial tier, he can spread his wings and fly, love directed, through the sky, keep his happy tryst, and then fly into his seat again. Isn't it then the best of things to possess a pair of wings? In Diotrephes we find proof enough for any mind. Osier wings were all his claim, yet a captain he became. By his tribesmen duly voted, thence to higher grade promoted. Now he gives himself grand airs, once the roughest of the roughs, and the title that he bears, Colonel Horsecock of the Buffs.
Enter Peithetaerus and Euelpides as birds.
So far so good. No, never, on my word, I never saw a creature more absurd.
What are you laughing at?
Oh, don't you know? Those pin feathers of yours amuse me so. Such metamorphosis your wings produce, you're very like a cheaply painted goose.
You've limned my likeness. Yours is quite as droll. A blackbird stripped of feathers round the pole.
These likenesses we get, the poet sings, wrought of none other but by our own wings.
What's the next business?
We are bound to frame, first thing of all, a great and glorious name for our new city. Sacrifices due, next, to the powers divine.
I think so too.
What title for our city shall we choose?
That which the folk at Lacedaemon use. That big one, Sparta, would you give it?
Fie! Take for my city Sparta? No, not I. The meanest palate never should receive so poor a fitting, while I'd girths to give.
What must we call it then?
From this new home, these nebulous altitudes in which we roam, some vaunting title take to suit it pat.
Cloud Cuckoo Burrow! What d'ye say to that?
Bravo, bravo! Invention's quite your forte. A very noble name, and not too short.
Is this the same Cloud Cuckoo Burrow, pray, in which Theogenes has stowed away most of his wealth, and Aeschines his all?
Or haply Phlegra's plain 'twill best recall, where gods outshot the boastful giant foes with louder boasting braggadocios.
A smartish city this. But who shall dwell as guardian godhead in the citadel? For whom the broidered mantle?
Can't we still let Athenaea keep the sacred hill?
A wisely ordered state can any be, where stands in highest shrine a deity, female of sex who clad in armor sees, with shuttle in his hand, a Cleisthenes.
To guard the stork wall, whom shall we engage?
A bird of ours of Persian parentage, whose fear-awakening fame resounds afar, the gallant chicken of the god of war.
O my lord chicken, aye 'tis chosen well, no god is fitter upon rocks to dwell.
Now you start off, ascend the upper air, and lend a hand to help the masons there. Pass on the lime to mix the mortar strip, carry the hod up from the ladder slip. Appoint the watch, the fire still hidden keep. Run round the beat with bell, there fall asleep. Dispatch one herald to the gods on high, to men beneath, another from the sky. For me, returning, bid him ask.
I see you mean to rest here. Rest and hang for me.
Go on your mission, friend. Without you none of all the things I mention will be done.
Exit Euelpides.
Now must we hold a solemn sacrifice in honor of the new-made deities, and I will fetch a priest to range the show. Lads, lift the basket and the ewer, so.
Exit Peithetaerus.
I say so too, I vote with you. Yes, and add one counsel do, to the gods devote profession. Let us make in grand procession, and to win their favour bring a nice sheep as offering. Utter forth, utter high, to the gods a Pythian cry, and let Charis to our lay flauto obligato play.
A flute player, wearing the mask of a raven with a mouthpiece, enters and begins to play. Enter Peithetaerus with a priest.
A truce there to your puffing. Heracles, what creature's this? Will marvels never cease? Full many a wondrous sight I've seen, but none to match a raven with a mouthpiece on. Your office now begins. Initiate, priest, to the new gods our sacrificial feast.
I'll do the solemn duty, since you ask it. But where is he that bears the sacred basket? Let us pray to Hestia, bird queen of flame, and to the holy kite that guards the same.
Hail, Sunium worshipped hawk! Hail, royal stork!
And to the Pythian and Delian swan, and to Leto, mother quail, and Artemis, the goldfinch.
Now no more Colanus, she goldfinch Artemis will be.
And to the redstart, Sabrian, and to the sparrow, mighty mother of gods and men.
O Lady Cybele, be good to us, O sparrow, mother of Cleocritus.
And to Olympian birds and ladybirds all, with united prayer we call, that to cloud cuckoo burgesses they grant health and wealth and all they want, themselves and their alliance, especially the chains.
That's delicious, I declare. Chians tacked on everywhere.
And to each hero bird and hero's son, and to pelican and porphyrion, and to heathcock and blackcock and peacock, and to gannet and heron and grosbeak and shrike and screech owl, and to blackcap and titmouse and early trumpet fowl.
A plague on all this nonsense. Cease to bawl. Ho, ho! What victims this to which you call ospreys and vultures dolt? A single kite, d'ye see, could swoop and carry off this might. Clear out from us, and take your wreaths away. I'll make this sacrifice myself today.
Exit priest.
So now again a second strain I must raise and not refrain. While they bear the sacred lotion, I must set my songs in motion. And to this our solemn rite all the blessed gods invite. No, not all, one alone, if indeed there's meat for one. In the victim standing by, only beard and horns I spy.
Let us pray and sacrifice to the feathered deities.
Enter poet.
Of Cloud Kookaburra's city celebrate the happy state, O my muse, in hymned ditty.
What importation's this? Say who you are.
One who honey-voiced song produces, a holy menial of the muses. Such is the title Homer uses.
A slave are you, yet keep your flowing hair?
No, but every one that song produces is a holy menial of the muses. Such is the title Homer uses.
Your blouse too's holy, to your trade you owe it. But what the mischief brings you here, sir poet?
Fine odes I've made, and many to renown in song Cloud Kookaburra, your new town. Some Cyclean, others Parthenian, others in style Simonidean.
When did you set about this song inditing?
Long in this city, long have I been writing.
What? Haven't I held its name feast now, you gaby, and called it for the first time like a baby?
By the Muses tidings swift are carried, swifter than the glancing force of the lightning-footed horse came the news, and never tarried. But, O sacred titled Lord, founder and sire of Aetna's state, what thy bounty can afford, be it little, be it great, with a generous soul incline to bestow on mine from thine.
This plaguy wretch will worry us, I see, if we don't shut his mouth up with a fee.
To one of the slaves.
You've got a jerkin there, come, strip, bestow it upon my very learned friend the poet. There, poet, take this jerkin for your meed. Your shivering plainly shows it what you need.
Glad the friendly muse receiveth what the gracious donor giveth. Yet expand your mental ear, and a verse of Pindar hear.
We shan't get quit of him just yet, 'tis clear.
In the nomad Scythian's plain wanders ever, cold and lonely, Straton with a jerkin only. Jerkin only, 'tis notorious, without tunic is inglorious. Duly comprehend the strain?
You want the tunic, that I comprehend.
To the slave.
Come, strip, one must assist a poet, friend. There, take it and be off.
I go, yet stay, the city must receive this parting lay. Seated on thy golden throne, Muse, prepare a noble ditty for the quivering, shivering city. To the snow-propelling zone, the many paths I hide away, tra-la-la-lay.
But now the tunic's on your back, my friend, of quivering and of shivering there's an end.
Exit poet.
I can't conceive how to this rascal went such early notice of our settlement. Boy, carry round again the laver, so. Silence!
Enter a soothsayer.
Commence not on the goat.
Hillo! What's here?
A soothsayer.
Bad luck be thine.
Cast not contempt, great sir, on things divine. Here is an oracle of Bacchus. See, it fits Clout Kookaburra perfectly.
Then ere I colonized this city, why came you not here and sang your prophecy?
The spirit hindered then.
Well, well, rehearse. There's no great harm in listening to your verse.
But when the wolves and hoary crows unite to build twixt Sicyon and great Corinth's height.
And with Corinthians what concern have I?
This hint of Bacchus indicates the sky. Bid first in honor of Pandora bleed a white-fleeced ram, and then as fitting meet for the first prophet who my songs shall bear, a goodly coat and sandals new prepare.
There in it too the sandals?
Take the book, and furthermore the prophecy commands to give a cup, and fill with tripe his hands.
And giving tripe is in it?
Take the book, and if thou doest my bidding, reverend child, an eagle in the clouds shalt thou be styled. But if thou givest not, never shalt thou prove throstle or woodpecker or turtle dove.
And is all this included?
Take the book.
Your oracle is not like this of mine, which I got copied from Apollo's shrine. But when some swindler, uninvited there, disturbs the sacrifice and tripe would share, let well-belaboured ribs be all his fare.
I think you're talking nonsense.
Take the book. Nor spare e'en eagle in the clouds, though he, or Lampon or great Euelpides be. Out, vermin, out.
Beats him.
Alack, and well a day.
Get out and soothsay somewhere else. Away.
Exit soothsayer. Enter Meton.
I'm come to join you.
Here's another pest. What are you come for? What's the ideal thought? What the design, the boot of this your journey?
I want to measure geometrically your atmosphere and map it out in acres.
And in heaven's name, who are you?
Meton, I, to Hellas and Colonus known.
And these, what are they?
Rules for measuring the atmosphere. For instance, all the atmosphere in shape is like a stove, as near as can be. So, when I my lineal fix, and from above insert a pair of flexile compasses, you comprehend?
I do not comprehend.
A straight rule I apply to measure with, that so your circle may become quadrangular, with market-place in the middle, whither lead straight roads converging to the very centre, and thus, as from a star, being circular, straight rays may flash their light in all directions.
The man's a second Thales. Meton.
Well?
I'm your good friend, believe me. Take my counsel, and move without disturbance out of the way.
What danger is there?
As in Lacedaemon, aliens are banished, feelings are excited, and many stripes are stirring through the city.
Is discord raging here?
No, not at all.
What is the matter, then?
In perfect concord we are resolved to kick out every humbug.
I must be gone, then.
Yes. I'm not quite sure you've time. Here are the stripes impending now.
Beats him.
Me miserable!
Didn't I give you warning? Remeasure yourself and be off elsewhere.
Exit Meton. Enter an inspector.
Where are the consuls?
Who's this dainty dawn?
I'm an inspector by the being elected to this cloud cuckoo borough.
An inspector? Who sent you here?
A certain trumpery warrant of Tellius.
Will you take your salary then? Not bore us, but be gone?
With all my heart I wish to stay at home and sit in Parliament. Some foreign business I have done with Pharnaces.
Take it and go then.
Beats him.
That's your salary.
What's this?
A sitting of the house on Pharnaces.
I call you all to witness I am beaten. I, an inspector.
Shoo, shoo! Won't you scud and take your brace of ballot boxes with you?
Exit inspector.
Now is not this a scandal? To our city already they are sending out inspectors before our sacrifices are performed.
Enter a plebiscite vendor.
If any cloud cuckoo burgess wrong an Athenian.
What plague again is here? What manuscript?
Vendor of plebiscites am I. New laws I'm come amongst you here to sell.
Sell what?
For cloud cuckoo burgesses we decree that all the measures and weights shall be the same as those of Poland.
Yours soon shall be the same as those of Woland.
Beats him.
Sir, what do you mean?
Go take away your laws. I'll sharpen them for you today, those laws.
Exit plebiscite vendor. Inspector, from the side.
I summon Peithetaerus for assault to appear at the April sessions without default.
Oh, really? You're amongst us, are you still?
Plebiscite vendor, from the side.
If any shall drive out the magistrates and not receive them as the column states.
Oh, cruel fate, and you're amongst us still.
I'll ruin you in damages, I will. I'll lay them at 10,000 drachmas, sir.
I'll scatter to the winds your ballot boxes.
Your insult to the column once at even, remember that.
Faugh, faugh! Let someone seize him. Oh, you won't tarry, won't you? From this place let us as soon as possible go in and sacrifice unto the gods the goat.
Exeunt all but chorus. End of episode 2. Episode 3 of The Birds by Aristophanes, translated by Benjamin Hall Kennedy. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Episode 3. Chorus. Ode.
Through the coming ages now, with the sacrifice and vow, mortals shall to me be praying, me the all-seeing and all-swaying, me whose active sight extends to the earth's extremest ends. I preserve the blooming fruit, slaying every noxious brute, such as with rapacious jaw underground the rootlets gnaw, such as, lurking in the boughs, on the budding fruitage browse. I destroy the loathsome swarm that with foul pollution harm all the garden's fragrant charm. Biting creatures, creatures crawling, bleed beneath my pinions sprawling.
Epiroma.
Specially, however, it is notified today, Melian Digoras, if any of you slay, your reward's a talent, and a talent for the head shall be paid of any of the tyrants that are dead. Also we do thus declare our high and mighty will. Sparrower Philocrates, if any of you kill, you will get a talent. If alive he's taken 4. 40 strings and sells the finches at a groat a score. Blows the fieldfares out and shows 'em with insulting grin. To the nozzles of the blackbirds sticks the feathers in. Pigeons that he catches in his cages all are set, and must be decoy birds for him, fastened in a net. Thus do we proclaim. And if by any of you men birds are kept in aviaries, let them loose again. Our police shall seize you if this warning you defy, and in penal servitude decoying men you'll lie.
Antode.
Happy are the feathered folk, who in winter wear no cloak, and the summer does not burn us with its hot far-flashing furnace. But in flowery meads I dwell, lingering oft in leafy dwell, when the inspired cicala's gladness, swelling into sunny madness, filleth all the fervid noon with its shrill and ceaseless tune. And throughout the winter day in some hollow cave I stay, with the mountain nymphs at play. Myrtle berries, spring bedewed, white and tender are my food, and 1,000 delicacies from the gardens of the Graces.
Antipyrema.
On the victory I wish a word or two to say, how the judges all will gain by voting for our play, getting better gifts than those of Paris far away. First, for more than anything each judge has this at heart, never shall the laureatic owls from you depart, but shall in your houses dwell, and in your purses too nestle close, and hatch a brood of little coins for you. Furthermore will let you live in temples like the gods, eagle-fashioned pinnacles adorning your abodes. If in some poor office placed to pilfering you incline, we will lend a small sharp hawk to favour your design. Craws too we will send you when you're going out to dine. But if you reject us, then let each a little shed forge, like looms or statues, as a shelter for his head, lest, without it when you walk in clean and white attire, all the birds their vengeance take by covering you with mire.
Enter Peithetaerus.
Our sacrifices, birds, are favourable, but from the works no messenger arrives to tell us how the business there goes on. Nay, here comes one at last, and running too, and panting in the true Alphean style.
Enter first messenger.
Where is he, the Archon Peithetaerus?
He is here.
Your wall is finished.
Thanks for your good tidings.
A very noble and magnificent structure. So vast the breadth is, that upon the top Proxenides of Brahm and Theogenes could drive 2 passing chariots clear with steeds big as the wooden one of old.
Great Heracles!
The height, I measured it myself, is just 100 fathoms.
What a height! Poseidon! Who built it up to such enormous size?
Birds, and no one else. No bricklayer of Egypt, no stone hewer was there, no carpenter. With their own hands they did it, to my marvel. There came from Libya 30,000 cranes, all having swallowed down foundation stones, which with their beaks the rails still aptly shaped. Another party of 10,000 storks were brickmakers, and water from below the plovers and the other wading birds were raising up into the higher air.
And who conveyed the mortar for them?
Herons, in the hods.
And how did they get in the mortar?
That was the cleverest device of all, sir. The geese, with their web feet, as though with spades, dipped down and laid it neatly on the hods.
What feat indeed may not be wrought by feet?
Aye, and the ducks, by Jove, all tightly girt, kept carrying bricks, and the other birds were flying with trowel on their heads to lay the bricks, and then, like children sucking lollipops, the swallows minced the mortar in their mouths.
Why should one hire paid laborers any more? Well now, what next? Who were the birds that wrought the woodwork of the fort?
Skilled carpenters, the yellowhammers. With their hammering beaks they finished off the gates. The noise they made in hammering was exactly like a shipyard. The fortress has its portals firmly fitted, supplied with bolts and bars, and guarded round. The beats are paced, the bell is borne, the watch at every point established, and the beacons set on the towers. But I must run away and clean myself. Look you, sir, to the rest.
Exit first messenger.
Sir, what's the matter with you? Do you marvel the fortress has been finished with such speed?
Aye, by the gods, a wondrous work it is. In very truth it looks to me like fiction. But wait a moment, here's a messenger, one of the guards from thence, who's running to us with face as martial as a Pyrrhic dance.
What ho! What ho! What ho! What ho! What ho!
Well, what's the matter?
Very shameful treatment. One of those gods from Zeus's place just now flew through our gates into the atmosphere, all unobserved of our day scouts, the jays.
O shameful deed and unendurable! Which of the gods?
We know not. Wings it had, we know.
Your course then surely was to launch some yeomanry upon its track.
We did. Our mounted archers, 30,000 hawks, we sent all riding with their claws a crook. Falcon and buzzard, vulture, nightjar, eagle, hark! With the rush and whirring of their wings, all ether shudders as they seek the god. Far off it cannot be. Indeed, I think 'tis here already.
Must we not get slings and bows and arrows? Henchmen all, look out! Shoot, smite! Supply me someone with a sling.
Exit Peithetaerus with second messenger.
War is rising, war surprising, war between the gods and me. So let every watchbird see that this, the child of Erebus, our cloud-encircled atmosphere, be guarded strictly, far and near, lest any god should pass unseen of us. Look out, each careful scout, around about. Some demons whirling through the lofty sky, e'en now the winged sound approaches nigh.
Iris appears flying across the scene. Peithetaerus re-entering.
Oh, madam, whither, whither, whither flying? Stay quiet there. Be still, restrain your course. Who and what are you? Whence arrived? Declare.
I am from the realm of the Olympian gods.
And what are we to call you? Bark or bonnet?
Swift Iris.
Perilous or Salaminia?
What means this?
Won't some buzzard soar and seize her?
Seize me? What mischief's here?
We'll make you smart.
All this is monstrous folly.
By what gate came you within the fort, you shameless jade?
I have no notion, really, by what gate.
You hear how she prevaricates. Did you, appear before the jade chiefs? Won't you answer? Have you a passport from the storks?
What stuff's this?
You've got none.
Are you sane?
Did no bird captain attend and set a label on your person?
None set a label on my person, wretch.
And would you, with such silent secrecy, fly through a foreign city and through chaos?
And by what other road are gods to fly?
I have no notion, really. Not by this. You're guilty, let me tell you. Long ere now you ought to have been seized and put to death. No Iris in the world with greater justice, if you'd got your deserts.
But I'm immortal.
You should have died in spite of that. Our case will be a cruel one, methinks, if, whilst we're ruling all the rest, you gods alone take every kind of license, not yet knowing that you in your turn must obey your betters. But tell me, whither do you steer your wings?
What, I? I'm flying on my father's errand, to bid men offer to the Olympian gods, and on their bullocks sacrificing hearths, to slaughter sheep, and fill the streets with savour.
What's this you're saying? Offer to what gods?
What gods? To us, the gods that are in heaven.
Are you then gods?
What other gods exist?
Birds unto men are gods. To them must men now sacrifice, and not, by Jove, to Jove.
O fool! Fool! Anger not the hearts of gods, but fear, lest justice with the spade of Zeus thy race in utter ruin overthrow, the torch thy body and thy circling domes reduce to cinders with Lycymnian bolts.
Harkye, my lady, cease your shrewish rant. Be still. With words like these I wish to know, Lydian or Phrygian do you think to scare? If Zeus disturb us longer, mark me well, his palace and Amphion's domes will I reduce to cinders with fire-carrying eagles, and warring on him I'll dispatch to heaven Magagian birds in pard-skin uniforms above 600 by the tail, and once he found a single Magog troublesome. And Mistress Iris, if you show your airs, you'll not get off scot-free. Return again to give us further trouble, and you'll find my harem has a vacant place for you.
Perdition seize you, wretch, with your vile language.
Shoo, shoo, be off, and suddenly. Quick march.
My sire will quell your insolence, I swear.
Dear, dear, how very sad. Come, fly away. Fly and reduce to cinders some small child.
Exit Iris.
We're excluding all intruding of the Jove-descended gods. Through our fortified abodes never may they travel more. Nor by this road to gods again shall savour rise of victims slain on any mortal's sacrificial floor.
Too bad that Herald who was sent to mortals, it seems as if he never would return.
Enter Herald.
O Peithetaerus, O thou blessed, thou wisest, O thou thrice blessed and noblest, O thou smoothest, call silence, O call silence.
What's your news?
All people crown you with this golden crown for your sagacious tact, and honor you.
Thanks. Why am I thus honored of the people?
O founder of a most illustrious ethereal city, are you not aware what honor you have won in men's esteem? How many are enamored of this land? Until this city was established by you, all men had been Lacedaemoniacs. They wore long hair, they fasted, they went dirty, like Socrates. They carried skittle staves. But now, converted, they've become bird maniacs, and in this new delight do everything that's done by birds, in mimicry of them. First, when they wake at early morn, they'll fly together all to pasture, like ourselves, and then they'll settle down upon the books, and there continue feeding on decrees. So manifestly bird-mad are they, that to many men are given the names of birds. One limping shopkeeper they call a partridge. Menippus is a swallow. and Opuntius an eyeless raven, Philocles a lark, Theogenes full panzer, and Lycurgus is termed an ibis, Teraphon a bat, a magpie Syracosius, Maedeus a quail they call, for he is like a quail, with a quail spider wounded in the head, and all from bird delight are singing ballads, in which is any mention of a swallow, of widgeon, goose, or wood pigeon, or wings, or e'en a slight suspicion of a feather. Such tidings from that world. But one thing learn, 10,000 men or more will come to you from thence, desiring wings and crook-clawed fashions. So wings you must find somewhere for the comers.
Faith, then, our business won't be standing still.
To a slave.
You there set off with speed, and fill the hampers and every basket you can find with wings. Let Manes carry to me out of doors those wings, and I'll receive the visitors.
Ere long will human beings all this place the many-peopled call. If fortune smile, the coming age will see my city quite the rage.
Why don't the wings come quicker out?
All that's beautiful and good will not every sojourner find in ample measure here. Wisdom, love, ambrosial graces, and, happiest of happy faces, the gentle-minded quietude.
Peithetaerus. 2 manas.
This is idle work, my master. Stir your stumps a little faster.
Chorus. 2 manas.
A pannier here of wings, be quick.
To Peithetaerus.
I hope you will not spare the stick. Your blows, like us, sir, on him shower. No donkey in the world is slower.
Yes, Manes is a fearful lout.
First, these wings within your reach, musical, prophetical, maritime, assort them all. Next, observe the coming faces, and, weighing well their various cases, assign the proper plumes to each.
Peithetaerus. 2 manas.
You'll catch it smartly by the falcons soon, if still I find you such a lazy loon.
Enter a would-be parricide.
A high-flying eagle I would be, to fly o'er the surge of the barren blue sea.
Our herald's tale seems likely to be true. Here comes a fellow singing about eagles.
Ho, ho! There's nothing half so sweet as flying. I'm quite enamoured of the laws of birds. I've the bird mania. Yes, to fly I wish, and dwell with you. And I desire your laws.
What laws do you mean? For birds have many laws.
All. Chiefly that it's held a law of honour in birds to strangle and to peck their fathers.
Aye, and in fact, when a young cock stands up and spurs his sire, we hold him very manly.
Therefore I migrate hither, and desire to choke my father, and possess his fortune.
Yes, but we birds have got an ancient law, kept in the record office of the storks, that when the parent stork has reared his brood and turned them out all capable of flying, the storklings in their turn must feed their sire.
Much good, then, had I got from coming here, if I must e'en be made to feed my father.
No, not at all. For since you came, poor wretch, with friendly feelings to us, I'll contrive to fit you as an orphan bird with wings. But take this hint, young fellow, not a bad one, which I got in my boyhood. Don't go back and beat your father, but receive this wing in the one hand and the spur in the other, and wear this crest as 'twere a cock's. Then go, serve both in garrison and in the field, for soldiers' pay. So let your father live, and since your tastes are warlike, Thrace-ward fly, and fight your fill there.
Ay, by Dionysus, I deem your counsel good, and I'll obey your bidding.
'Tis a wise resolve, by Jove.
Exit parricide. Enter Canisius.
Lightly with my wings I fly to Olympian seats on high, fly to every varied strain in the lyrical domain.
This creature's wanting a shipload of feathers.
With a mind's eye void of fear, visiting the people here.
Canisius, the linden man, all hail! Why limpest hither lithely, lame of leg?
Let me be made a bird, I beg, a melodious nightingale.
A truce to lyrics. Tell me what you want.
I would be winged by you and fly aloft, and from the clouds obtain some preludes new of air elate and snow-propelling nature.
What, can a man get preludes from the clouds?
Yes, upon these alone our art depends. All brilliant dithyrambs are airy things, dark, dimly lighted, wing-wrapped. Only listen, and you will quickly know.
Indeed I won't.
Ah, but you shall, I vow by Heracles, for I will traverse all your atmosphere, and sing, ye shades of flying ones sky-floating, neck-stretching birds.
I'll stop your boating.
Wandering on the seaward track, let me ride the windy rack.
I'll take the wind out of your sails, I will.
Now to the southern side careering, now to the north my body veering, ever cleaving as I fly, harbourless furrows of the sky. Pretty and clever is your craft, old sire.
Peithetaerus beats him with the wings.
There, don't you find it pleasant to be wing-wrapped?
Is this the way you treat the Cyclian teacher? Me, whom the rival tribes each year contend for.
Well, won't you stay with us a while and teach for bursar Euelpides a chorus of flying birds belonging to the rail tribe?
You're laughing at me, that I plainly see, but I will never rest, be sure of this, till I've got wings and scudded through the air.
Exit Kinesius. Enter an informer.
Hither as I track I follow, certain birds appear in view, dapple-winged without a sow, O pinion-stretching dappled swallow.
This newly wakened pest is not a light one. Here comes another fellow trilling airs.
O pinion-stretching dappled one da capo.
Methinks upon his cloak he sings the catch. He seems to want no small amount of swallows.
Who supplies the visitors with wings?
Your humble servant. What are your commands?
Wings. Wings I want, you need not ask me twice.
Direct to Woolston, do you mean to fly?
No, but an island summoner am I, and an informer.
What a blessed trade!
Aye, and a suit promoter, so I want a suit of wings to fly about my circuit, and scare the cities with my writs of summons.
With wings you'll summon, then, more cleverly?
No, but to save annoyance from the pirates, I'll travel back in the crane caravan, with many lawsuits swallowed down for ballast.
So that's your business, yours, a strong young man, to bring vexatious charges against foreigners?
What can I do? I never learned to dig.
But surely there are other decent trades, in which a full-grown man might get his bread, by doing rather than perverting justice.
Correct me not, but wing me, noble sir.
I do by speaking.
Wing by speech? How so?
All men are winged by speeches.
All men?
Yes. Have you not often heard, when to their friends in barbers' shops the fathers thus discourse? Too bad, the Itrophis has winged with talk that lad of mine to drive his curricle. Another says, his boy is all a wing for tragedy and fluttered in his mind.
So then by speeches they are winged?
They are. By speeches intellect is elevated, and the man raised aloft. And so would I wing you with honest words and turn you to a lawful trade.
But I will not be turned.
What will you do then?
Not disgrace my kindred, informing's my ancestral occupation. So fit me with some light and rapid wings, falcons or hawks, that I may serve my writs on foreigners, then plead against them here, then fly back there again.
I catch your meaning. 'Tis this, that ere the foreigner arrives, he may be cast in damages.
Exactly.
And while he's sailing hither, off you fly to foreign parts and seize his goods.
You've hit it. A top's the very thing to be.
A top. I comprehend, and by the powers I've got, these capital wings of Corcorean make.
Woe's me! You've got a whip.
No, no, 2 wings, with which I mean this day to set you spinning.
Whips him.
Alas, alas!
Come, wing your way from hence, and trickle off, abominable hangdog. Your justice-twisting tricks shall cost you dear.
Exit informer.
Now let us gather up the wings and go.
Exit Peithetaerus with slaves. End of episode 3. Episodes 4, 5, and Exodus of the Birds by Aristophanes, translated by Benjamin Hall Kennedy. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Episode 4, Chorus.
Many wondrous things and new come before my gliding view. Many very startling sights we have noticed in our flights. From the common road apart, at some distance beyond heart, stands a tree beheld by us, and its name Cleonymus. Fearful 'tis and tall to see, yet a good-for-nothing tree. In the springtime when it grows, many a load of figs it shows, but in winter on the fields, its branches shed not leaves but shields. There's a region far away, where our pinions seldom stray, unto nightland's borders near, in no nightland's desert drear. There the children of mankind often have with heroes dined, and with heroes can abide, only not at eventide. At that season 'twould not be safe to keep their company, if at night mortal wight doth upon Orestes light, hero bold he's stripped by him, and smitten in each noble limb.
Enter Prometheus, disguised and under a sunshade.
Me, miserable? Mine Zeus, see me not. Is Peithetaerus in?
Peithetaerus re-entering.
Hello, who is here? What raps are these?
Ye spy some god behind me?
Not I, upon my honor. Who are you?
Inform me, then, what time o' day it is.
What time of day? The early afternoon. But who are you?
Towards 4 o'clock, or later?
Your folly sickens me.
What's Zeus about? Clearing the clouds off, or collecting them?
A mischief to you.
Well, then, I'll unveil.
Throws off his disguise.
Prometheus, my dear friend.
Stop, stop, don't shout.
Why not?
Be quiet, don't call out my name. I'm lost forever if Zeus view me here. But while I'm telling you the news from heaven, just take the sunshade, will you? Hold it up above my head, that so the gods mayn't see me.
Bravissimo! A good device indeed, of true Promethean fancy. Come, be quick. Step under, and then speak without alarm.
Now listen with attention.
Speak, I listen.
Well, Zeus is ruined.
Can you date his ruin?
From your first atmospheric settlement, no man from that time offers anything to gods. No savor comes to us on high from legs of mutton. Mulleted of our victims, we fast as in the Thesmophorian days, and wild with hunger, the barbarian gods, all screeching like Illyrians, fiercely say, they'll march their armies from above on Zeus, unless he'll open all the ports that tripe and sausages may enter duty-free.
How? Are there other and barbarian gods above yourselves?
What are they but barbarians, whence Extravaganza obtains his sire god?
And these barbarian gods, what is their name?
Their name? Tribali.
Oh, I understand. That means to say they are a tribe allied.
Just so. But let me state one certain fact. from Zeus and those Tribolians up above. Envoys are coming here to treat for peace, but don't conclude on any terms but these, that Zeus restore the scepter to the birds, and give you royalty to be your bride.
Who is this royalty?
A lovely maid, who has the charge of Zeus's lightning closet, and all his other stores, his maxims sage, his wholesome laws, his temperance, his dockyards, his slang, his paymaster, his sixpences.
Why, then, she keeps us all.
She really does. And when you've got her from him, you've got all. 'Twas for that reason that I came to tell you. I've always been a zealous friend to men.
True, you're the only god through whom we grill.
And all the gods, you're well aware, I hate.
Yes, this cleaves to you ever, hate of gods.
A genuine Timon, but I must run back. So hand me here the sunshade, that if Zeus from upper realms behold me, I may seem to follow in due form the basket-bearer.
There, take this camp-stool also for your purpose.
Exit Prometheus.
Near the shadow feet are certain shoals, where the dirty Socrates charms souls. The spirit that left his living frame to gaze at their Peisander came. Camel lamb as victim carried, cut its throat, and near it tarried. As Odysseus did of old, suddenly from beneath the mould of the camel's blood to sup, he saw Sheriffin the bat come up.
Episode 5. Part of the ramparts of Cloud Kookaburra, an alcove in the scene as a kitchen where Peithetaerus is engaged with slaves cooking. Enter Poseidon, Heracles, and Tribulus.
This is the fortress of Cloud Kookaburra, within our view to which we are sent his envoys.
To the Tribullian god.
What's that you're doing there? Pulling your cloak to the left side in that ungainly style. Put round and draw it, can't you? To the right. Clumsy being. You're a born Lyspodius. What will you bring us to? Democracy? If the gods choose a deputy like this?
To the Tribullian again.
Be still, you plague. Of all the gods I've seen, you're the one most barbarous by far. Well, Heracles, what's to be done?
You've heard. I want to strangle him outright, the man, whoe'er he is, that's walling out the gods.
Nay, sir, but our instructions are to treat for peace.
So much the more I vote for strangling.
Hand the cheese scraper, somebody. Fetch silphium. Bring cheese and heat the coals within the grate.
We bid the gentlemen good day, we gods. 3 in commission.
Now then scrape the silphium.
What meat is this you're dressing?
Certain birds against the democratic birds arose and suffered condemnation for high treason.
So then you first scrape silphium on them, do you?
Ah, Heracles, good morning. What's your pleasure?
We are come as envoys from the gods to treat about a termination of the war.
There's not a drop of oil within the crews.
And yet your volée wants a nice rich sauce.
We, for our part, gain nothing by the war. And you, by being friendly with the gods, would have rainwater in your tanks at once, and live without cessation halcyon days. On all these points, we bring full powers to treat.
Well, we were not the first in former time to war with you, and now, if so resolved, and if at last you're willing to do justice, we'll come to terms. Our just demand is this, that Zeus restore the scepter to us birds, and if we settle things on this condition, I shall invite the embassy to luncheon.
I'm quite content with this, and give my vote.
For what, you madman? You're a silly glutton. You'll rob your father of his royal sway.
So, and won't you gods be stronger far, if birds command below? For mortals now, concealed beneath the clouds, hang down their heads, and call on you to witness perjuries. But if you have the birds for your allies, when by the raven and by Zeus a man shall swear and break his plight, the raven then, approaching unperceived, shall pounce on him and strike his eye out with a single blow.
Aye, By Poseidon, this at least is well said.
I think so.
Poseidon to the Tribbilian.
What do you say?
The bites are true.
You see, he gives assent. Hear furthermore how great a service we've in store for you. If any man shall vow to any god a sacrifice, and then with artful quibbles excuse himself and say, the gods can wait, declining from mere stinginess to pay, this also we'll exact.
How so? Let's see.
When the man's counting out a petty sum, or sitting in his bath, a kite shall swoop, unnoticed, clutch the coins, and carry up the value of 2 sheep unto the god.
I vote for giving back the scepter to them.
Ask the Tribalian next.
Do you, Tribalian, consent to a sound whipping?
Stakalici. Metaki.
My proposal's good, he says.
If you both vote so, then I vote with you.
Sir, we concede this point about the scepter.
Aye, but there's one thing more which I forgot. Hera indeed I yield to Zeus, but he must give the princess royalty to me in lawful wedlock.
Peace is not your object. Let us go home again.
Little I care. Cook, mind you make the sauce sweet.
My good man, Poseidon, whither are you rushing off? Are we to go to war about one woman?
What must we do, then?
Come to terms, of course.
Poor wretch. You know not that you're being duped. You harm yourself, moreover. If Zeus die after the kingdom has been given to these, you will be poor, for all the money's yours that Zeus will leave behind him at his death.
Oh dear, how sadly he deceives you. Come here aside, and have a word with me. Your uncle sets you wrong, unhappy sir. Not 1 hair's breadth of all your father's goods is yours by law. You're illegitimate.
I, illegitimate? What can you mean?
You are, by Zeus, a foreign woman's child. Or how do you think Athena could be heiress, a daughter had she lawful brothers living?
Well, but suppose my sire give me the money after his death, by special codicil, as to a spurious son.
The law forbids him. Why, this Poseidon, who's now cramming you, will be the first to claim your father's money, saying that he himself is lawful brother. I'll now recite to you the law of Solon. A bastard shall have no inheritance while lawful children are alive, and if there are no lawful children, then the next of kin shall share the property between them.
So then I've no claim to my father's money?
No, none, by Zeus. Just tell me, did your father at any time present you to his wardsman?
Me? Never. I'd been wondering at it long.
Why stare up at the sky with looks like cudgels? Stand on our side, and I'll create you king. I'll give you bird's milk to your heart's content.
Again, what you propose, I think, is just about the maiden, and I yield her to you.
Peithetaerus to Poseidon.
And what say you?
I vote the other way.
All rests with the Tribalian.
To the Tribbilian.
What say you?
The pretty, girly biggie, rollbacky. A birdie yield me.
He says he yields.
No, he does not really say he yields, but only twitters as the swallows do.
Why, then he says he yields her to the swallows.
Well, draw your clauses and arrange between you. For, since you're both agreed, I'll say no more.
Our vote is to admit all your conditions, but come with us to heaven yourself. There take the princess royalty and all her trousseau.
In seasonable time then for the wedding, these birds were slaughtered.
Will you let me stay meantime, and roast this meat while you depart?
You roast the meat? Much tasting's what you mean. Come on, with us.
I should have been in clover.
Let someone get me out a wedding mantle.
Exeunt Peithetaerus and the 3 gods. Exodus.
In the Peachings, on the water-glass side, rascally tongue-bellied tribes abide, who with their tongues both reap and sow, and grapes and figs in plenty grow. These are of barbarian races, Philips all, and Gorgias's. Hence arose a custom new, to those tongue-bellied Philips due. Attic usage everywhere, cuts the tongue for a separate share.
Enter third messenger.
O ye, of every countless good possessed, O flying race of birds, supremely blessed, receive the monarch in his prosperous home. He comes, he comes! Like him, in gold bright dome, never dawned to view the full-orbed glittering star. No beamy splendor of the sun from far shone forth so glorious as the queenly bride of untold beauty moving by his side. Flashing the winged levin bolt of Jove, he comes, while soars to vaulted skies above a scent unutterable, beauteous sight, and incense breezes coil a smoky light. Himself appears. The goddess Muse to-day behoves from holy lips to pour the auspicious lay.
Peithetaerus and Basilia descend in a flying car while the chorus sings.
Room for the company, cheerily, merrily, flutter around him, wishing him joy of the joy that has crowned him. O bliss, O bliss! What bloom of youth, what beauty this! To the city of thy sway, happy is thy marriage day. Great fortune for the birds is stored, yea, great through this victorious lord. So with Hymen's songs of glee and bridal carols welcome ye him and his partner royalty. When the goddess, fates allied to Hera, his Olympian bride, him, the high and heavenly one, him who held the exalted throne, they sang the song of Hymen Hymenaeus. Golden winged, the bloomy Love his chariot lightly reining drove, with his present power to bless Jove's and Hera's happiness, and sang the song of Hymen Hymenaeus.
Your lays they are spriteful, your music delightful, your language is striking and quite to my liking.
Stay yet a little while and sing. The earth descending crashes, the fiery gleaming flashes, the terrible white bolt of Zeus the king. O the mighty golden blaze of lightning! O the flamy spear of Zeus immortal! O the hoarsely echoed peals of thunder, swelling all the cloudy vault from under, and the rush of rain from heaven's high portal! Now with these our chief the earth is frightening. All the power of Jove he comes possessing, royalty who in glory splendid on the ancient throne of Zeus attended. He brings by his side in stately pride his queen, his bride, his blessing. Sing we the song of Hymen Hymenaeus.
Haste ye the wedding hour to grace, all my mates of feathered race. Up to the hall of Jove ascend, there the bridal couch attend. Reach me thy hand, O blessed one, our procession is begun. And as thy floating form I stay, grasp my pinions and away.
The procession goes forth amidst jubilant music.
Ta-ra-la-la, la-la-la, waft the conqueror, waft on high, thrilling lyre and paean cry. Ta-ra-la-la, la-la-la, hail to thee, all hail to thee, our supremest deity.
End of episodes 4, 5, and Exodus of the Birds. End of the Birds by Aristophanes, translated by Benjamin Hall Kennedy.